Explanation Point is an up-and-coming anime YouTuber whose popularity has skyrocketed since he first hit the scene 3 months ago. While his work is entertaining in its own right, his latest video has convinced me that the most compelling aspect of his channel isn't the content itself. It's the meta-narrative that he constructs within that content.
This was only the first fight in a subscriber count-based Tenkaichi Budokai that's only happening in my head.
Back in June, Expo announced a fictional tournament that would pit fellow anime YouTubers against one another. This idea existed purely in his head, however, so it was unanimously decided that he was the hero of this story. Also, round 1 was already over. Hey, wait a minute! The idea was silly and pretentious, with Expo tossing out comments like,
"Alright folks, 32,000 subscribers, that is our new goal."
And my personal favorite,
3 weeks is not a lot of time for such a dare, but you win, beat him with a week to spare.
Then this video came out, and that silly, pretentious idea turned out to be one of the most surprisingly inspirational chain of events I've ever seen on YouTube. This segment featuring Expo and the Pedantic Romantic sets up the third round of Expo's subscriber-based Tenkaichi Budokai, but the actual matchup it foreshadows is the least important detail. Pedantic Romantic, aka Pedro, plays the archetypical role of friend/rival who provides exposition on the next foe. What makes this so brilliant is that Pedro is legitimately deeply immersed in the AniTube sphere, and has been for years. He fills this role so well because talking about other creators is part of what he's known for. The My Hero Academia-styled parody notebook compiling data on these creators is something that I could actually picture Pedro having. Then there's the bit where Expo asks about Anime Everyday's Patreon, which Pedro redirects to his own since the former doesn't have one. This is something that Pedro has jokingly done before in a video he edited for Mother's Basement. Including such a detail in this fictional skit only strengthens its connection to reality and gives it legitimate weight. This segment also serves to poke fun at Anime Everyday, with Pedro and Expo taking shots at Anive's "okay, so maybe abbreviations don't work for everything" less than everyday upload rate, for example. These jabs are hilariously framed as a pre-battle game plan, which also puts Expo's flaws in the spotlight. The two are directly compared in a similar fashion to those anime versus anime fantasy matchups. Anime Everyday is given credit where it's due in the same way that Pedro is given it. Expo even plugs his opponent's channel, which only makes it more difficult for him to surpass them. The additional traffic raises their numbers, and gives Expo a higher goal to reach for. This makes his inevitable victory all the stronger, as he not only builds himself up, but he pushes himself beyond a channel that has also been built up. In the long run, both channels benefit. And that's what makes this concept so fascinating. None of this is necessary. New viewers don't click on Expo's videos for this, they click on his videos for this. Expo could have risen to his current status without the theatrics. He could have kept these notes and these goals to himself, but instead he turned it into a hyperbolic tongue-in-cheek story arc. This tournament is all in his head, but by realizing the idea and giving it a physical form, not only is he crafting his own narrative out of it, but he's also giving other creators exposure. His projected arrogance came off as annoying and narcissistic at first, which made me all the more jealous when he did achieve his goals. What I initially failed to understand fully hit me like a truck in this moment.
Thanks! It was a good fight!
I held out as long as I could, but at the end of the day, this was the only way things were going to turn out. I'll see you at the top.
Yeah! I'll see you at the top.
Expo doesn't brush off Lachlan's comment as beneath him. He instead acknowledges Lachlan's efforts and the quality of his content by returning Lach's statement. The line, "I'll see you at the top," drives home Expo's core motivation in this tournament. Explanation Point isn't an arrogant guy claiming to be the best. He's a content creator projecting an egotistical persona onto himself, not only for his or his fans' sake, but for the sake of the entire AniTube community. And that's why I want him to succeed. I never stood a chance. I was too complacent. Too arrogant to see what was right in front of me. Expo, Pedro, everyone else is giving it their all. But I may have lost this time, but I'm not giving up. Expo, you can have the top spot. I'll cheer you on from the sidelines for now. But know this, I will face you. I'm going to work hard, and one day, you'll see me at the top.